What's good, Commanders fans? I am super late with this video. Of course, I've seen this on Bleacher Report and just all across, social media. Just this hypothetical trade, John Allen to the Green Bay Packers. This trade is for a 2024 second round pick and a 2024 fourth round pick. And I've always said, every time when I say, are we going to trade Jonathan Allen, I always say his value is like a second and a fifth. I don't really think we're gonna get a first. I mean, John Allen is a very talented player, a perennial, basically Pro Bowl player. A lot of pressures, sacks, locker room leader. We know he gets very emotional every year. He has that every year rant where he's like, "I'm tired of this." It's like a curse word, bunch of curse words. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. It's been year after year after year, every year. And then he's on the radio talking with 106.7 The Fan, talking about he's thought about being traded. He's thought about asking about a trade. He said he would be lying if he has not thought about it. And then the junkies were like, are you jealous of Chase Young being on a playoff team? Are you jealous of guys like Preston Smith being on the Packers, being on a playoff team? And I thought that was a weird question to ask. And he said no, because, he decided to sign a contract and come back and get that big extension, get that big payday that he got. And I think he earned that contract. I think everybody was basically happy when he signed the extension. And it was very, very well earned, very well deserved. And but he did go on the radio and say that he spoke his mind and was honest about it. And look at it this way: when I trade John Allen, I would like to keep him, of course. I think he's a great leader, a great player. But it's a rebuilding year. It's a new staff, new GM, new head coach, a bunch of new players coming in. A lot of guys that he's played with are leaving or have left this past season. So you got to think about him and his family. Yes, he's from Virginia, from the DMV area, all that good stuff, but you got to think about what's best for him. Does he want to go to a team that he knows for sure is going to be in the playoffs? The Packers are obviously going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be back again with Jordan Love playing well, Preston Smith, Dobbs is playing well, Romeo Dubs, and Christian Watson's okay. Jaden Reed is really darn good too. Aaron Jones is just a dog. We saw what they did to the Cowboys. They're going to be in the playoffs again for years to come for sure. So, if he moves on, if he does request a trade, I respect it. Now, looking at some of the numbers for Jonathan Allen, unfortunately, he did have a down season this year. You look at the pressures that he had last year. Pass rush win rate. Last year, John Allen was 9th in the league, and then he went all the way down to 26th, which is 26th, which is not terrible. 26 out of 52 guys. His pass rush win rate went from 9th out of 52 defensive tackles to 26, which is it's a noticeable drop off. It just was. It was a noticeable drop off. And you could clearly see it. And John Allen, he had a quarterback pressure rate of 11.9% in the first 5 games of the season, but over the past 5 games, that rate fell to 7.6%. That was back in November 15th. So you see some of the numbers dropping off. Now, if you get a second and fourth for John Allen, that's crazy. That's more what you would get for Trent Williams. We got a third and a fifth for Trent Williams. That's just ridiculous. And I know it's not a lot of people's fault that, Kyle Smith had to do that wrong. Decided to trade. Shouldn't have traded Trent Williams in the first place. But we already know the story. It was a lot of layers to it. But just thinking about it, that we would get more in return for John Allen than the best, arguably the best left tackle in the league in Trent Williams. So but that's neither here nor there. But just looking at the trade value there, I think it's a good deal. Like I said, I don't think you get a first. The Packers D-line is pretty good, but they want to get a top run stuffer and a top defensive tackle pass rusher to help out the defensive line. They already have a good defensive line over there with the Packers. But I'm gonna read the article here from Bleacher Report over here. This is a guy. His name is Alex K. The article came out January 16th. Like I said, I'm late. Today's January 23rd. Other trades he has, like Devontae Adams going to the Jets, John Allen to the Green Bay Packers, Justin Fields to the Falcons. Justin Fields to the Falcons makes more sense than him coming here, to be honest. Justin Jefferson to the Cardinals. I don't see that happening. Jerry Jeudy to the Browns. So this is one of those, kind of just throw stuff at the wall a little bit article here. And this one actually is realistic, though. It is realistic. I could see this happening. If it's not just the Packers, I could see him going anywhere else, too, for a second and a fourth or a second and a fifth. I think that basically is his value right there. And then just looking at the dead cap money, just so you can look at the numbers. If we do trade him, it would be $12 million in dead cap, but we would save about $9 million. $9,441,176. And the draft capital we would have, getting the third round pick we got for Chase Young, the second round pick we got for Montez. So now we would have 3 seconds and three. The one for Montez, the one we already have, one for Jonathan Allen, 2 thirds, one for Chase, and one we already have, and then we would have 2 fourths. So we would have a lot of ammunition. You could either trade up into the first round possibly, or even trade for another player, or just use some of the cap space to go ahead and sign a player. So there's a lot of things that Adam Peters could do. Adam Peters has experience with this too. The Niners, they had to make a decision to trade one of their first round defensive tackles. They ended up drafting Javon Kinlaw. That didn't work out. But there's a lot of things that, Adam Peters would have to work, a lot of ammunition, a lot of draft capital he would have to work with if he does trade Jonathan Allen. Like I said, if it was up to me, I would be like, hey, they got to sit down with him and have a meeting, of course, like they do with every player. Do you want to be here? Do you want to come back? And this is a trade that we could revisit that could happen on draft day. We see a lot of the Trent Williams trade happen on draft day. A lot of trades usually happen coming up to the draft day or coming up to the draft or on draft day. So this is something that could happen potentially in April. If John Allen, he could request a trade. He could. He has not yet, but like I said, on the radio, he said he thought about it. So I'll read the article real quick. The Washington Commanders are a good bet to be active in the trade market during the 2024 offseason. The team is coming off a disappointing 4-13 campaign. It's worse since 2019 and now have a new general manager in place, Adam Peters. While Peters' first task will be finding the organization's next head coach, he'll soon get to work on crafting a roster that can contend. While Washington has 9 picks in the 2024 draft, 4 in the top 67, it could use more to overhaul a pock-marked lineup, dealing veterans to free up salary cap space and add more draft capital to the coffers should be a priority for Peters. Due to this shift in focus, Jonathan Allen, the team standout defensive tackle, could be on the way out after 7 seasons with the club. I'll read the last part of the article. Allen had openly expressed frustration with how the Commanders were faring during the trying 2023 campaign. He previously admitted that despite growing up as a fan of the team in Virginia, he's given thought to playing elsewhere and wants to be part of a winning franchise. While he hasn't officially requested a trade, it's possible he won't have to if the team implements a full-blown rebuild. Jeremy Fowler also said they could strip things down to the studs this spring. With Allen owed just $29.5 million in total over the next 2 seasons, there should be no shortage of interest if he's shopped around. Allen would be an ideal situation of both issues and can slide over to defensive end in Green Bay's 3-4 front. It will likely cost the club the better of his two round 2 draft selections this year, plus more to get the deal done. But parting with these picks would well be worth the value of Jonathan Allen. The value Allen would add to this defense. All right. So it sounds like the Green Bay Packers have 2 second-round picks. So I mean, yeah, you can get the higher of the second-round pick there, and it's something to consider, man. Daron Payne, we'll see what happens with him too. I don't think they trade him. I think they keep him. But yeah, Jonathan Allen is somebody who probably has the most trade value on this roster. Probably between him, Terry, and Daron. Those are the cornerstones of this team, as Adam Peters said. He said the team does have talent. He did hesitate on that answer in the press conference. But if he had to point to people, obviously it would be Terry, Daron, John, and Terry, Daron, John. I would throw Jahan in there as one of the possible cornerstones. He had a down year, but still. B-Rob, of course. Derek Forrest, if he's healthy. Cam Curl's a free agent, so we'll see what happens with him there. And Sam Cosmi. And other than that, you're kind of looking around for cornerstones of the roster. You just don't have much. So Adam Peters definitely has his hands full, but he has the second pick of the draft, a bunch of draft picks, and a lot of cap space. So you guys let me know what you guys think. Second and the fourth, if John Allen says, hey, I just want to go somewhere I can win. He's been a winner at Alabama, a winner in high school. He's been a winner wherever he's gone. He's been a constant professional here. So I respect any decision that Jonathan Allen has here. When you have a new front office coming in, new quarterback, we're gonna draft a quarterback and have another rookie quarterback. All the quarterbacks he's been through. You talk about Terry going through quarterbacks. Jonathan Allen's gone through a bunch of quarterbacks. I know he's not on the offensive side of the ball, but just as a team and a roster, being on the team, all the quarterbacks he's seen coming out, and just the inconsistency in that position too, it just defines the roster too. If you don't have a quarterback, it's really hard to win games, and we just haven't had that. So to go through another development of a quarterback and another coaching staff, if he does want to move on, I wholeheartedly respect his decision. And the second and fourth is not a bad return at all. I think that's a pretty solid return that you can definitely move up into the first round, another first round pick. Or, you got the cap space, and you can possibly trade those picks for a player, too, if you really, really want another player. But I think we're going to draft guys more than really sign guys. So, all right, guys. You guys let me know what you guys think. Health Commanders. Oh, and then Dan Quinn, like I said, he's going to have an in-person interview. Raheem Morris as well. I think I already talked about that yesterday. And then January 29th. They have to wait till January 29th to interview Mike McDonald and Ben Johnson. They have to wait until those dates to interview those guys. All right, guys. Health Commanders. Peace.